Hey, Morning Star, we've just finished up with our Easter services, and God has given us again this year an opportunity to share His good news with 4,000 people. We told the story of Kelly Weaver, how the ministries of Morning Star helped her through this incredibly challenging season of life, giving her the prayer and support and encouragement she needed for her double lung transplant. I mean, talk about a story of life change and the transforming power of the resurrection. Goodness. And to top it all off, we were young and old on stage leading our praise and worship together as a response to God raising Jesus from the dead, all because He loved us. Man, I tell you, this is the kind of church I could only dream about being a part of 19 years ago when I said yes to leading this church plant in western St. Charles County. Morning Star began as the largest United Methodist church plant in Missouri, and we continued to grow for 6 years at what was then the Biltmore Banquet Center. Then another year at Crossroads Elementary. We moved into phase 1 of our Dardenne Prairie campus in 2006. The congregation quickly doubled in size. We doubled our facility. And in 2012, we opened the venue in the children's wing. Along the way, we've also planted 2 daughter churches, The Word at Shaw and The Way. This growth has impacted literally thousands of lives. Dozens and dozens and dozens of marriages have been saved. Hundreds of students have been confirmed. And get this, over 1,000 persons have been baptized. Can you believe that? Talk about impacting eternity. And then it's the New Hope Resource Center providing hands-on help to countless in our community every week who are facing financial hardship. Every week, Celebrate Recovery, ministering hope to over 250 folks who struggle with hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Now, our facilities were necessary steps toward these ministries that God was leading us to offer. And while there's been much to celebrate, all this growth in ministry and facility has certainly incurred a cost. We took on a mortgage to provide space for the growth, then took on an additional mortgage for the expansion. We've been faithful in making our payments, reducing our indebtedness, but the time has come for us to accelerate our debt reduction. And here's why. See, there are new ministries I believe God is going to be calling us to as we're discovering in our current strategic planning process. There's some renovations and enhancements to our existing building which need to be made. And there are projects which have been delayed, like signage on Page Avenue and closing the front canopy in order to expand our lobby space. And listen, our leadership is committed to ensure that all these things will happen, but we first need to address the issue of our debt reduction. Our goal is to commit to a 3-year period during which we'll reduce our debt from $6.5 million to $3.5 million. This is going to allow us to pay off a couple of our loans and free up about $20,000 each month, which is about $250,000 every year. This savings is going to reduce a lot of stress from our annual ministry plan. It's going to provide resources for 3 essential areas: continued debt reduction, expanded ministry, and facility renovation. Now, there's a second option under consideration which would reduce our debt by $2 million and allocate, $1.25 million to go ahead and getting the signage on Page Avenue erected and closing the front canopy. We've chosen to move forward with a new and proven approach, which is actually going to ensure that the pledged funds are going to go solely to those purposes. You see, over the past year, we've been doing all-in, one-fund approaches where the people of Morning Star were asked to make a pledge, a 2-year pledge to a single fund. That single fund included the annual ministry plan and then all these capital improvements and debt reductions included along with it. This was the approach in the Turn the Page campaign that we just completed in December. What this new approach is going to do is actually separate this one fund into 2 distinct funds. This is going to begin in the fall of this year when we're going to receive pledges for our 2018 annual ministry plan. That's just a normal operating budget. Then in the spring of next year, spring of 2018, we're going to do a separate initiative. We're going to receive pledges for a 3-year period, and these pledges will be over and beyond our normal giving, and all the gifts received will go to option 1, reducing debt, or option 2, reducing the debt and the signage and lobby expansion. So to help guide us along the way, we've engaged the services of a new stewardship partner, Horizons Stewardship. They've got a long and distinguished record in this business, including working with dozens of United Methodist churches in Missouri, as well as around the nation. Now, as you know, we're in the final stages of our church-wide strategic planning process, which we plan to have completed by this fall. This capital fund initiative, which will occur next spring following the strategic planning process, will help provide the financial resources to direct us toward this God-preferred future. Here's what I want to emphasize, that even though the church has a financial need is not going to be the focus. That's what fundraising is about. As a church, we're going to focus on faith raising. This initiative will be an opportunity for us to drill down on discipleship, growing closer to God, discovering our need as God's people to gratefully give, to respond to the ways that God has blessed us. Hey, Morning Star, the time is coming to stack hands and be the body of Christ. Let's begin right now to prepare ourselves for where God is going to be leading us. Let's continue praying for God to bless our kingdom mission to equip His people and expand His kingdom. And let's lean into this period of discerning our strategic plan for the next 5 years so we can throw off all that is currently hindering us from completing God's mission and run with perseverance this race that God has marked out just for us.